It's our pleasure to welcome back to Sekeres and Price, Whitecaps legend and club liaison, the one and only Mr. Bobby Lenarduzzi. Bob, how are you? Thanks for the time here.
I'm good, thank you, and it's my pleasure.
Well, as mentioned, you've seen and done a lot in that stadium. What did you make of Thomas Müller and the debut last night?
Well, just a quick precursor to last night. Thomas Müller has been the most adapting guy to coming into a city that he's never been to before, and just making himself available. And even last night, prior to the game, he's up an hour before the match, being welcomed by about 5,000 fans. I mean, who does that? It's incredible. So that, I think, really prepped for the game last night. And I was talking to somebody, and then I heard a roar start. And then I thought, okay, well, he's coming off the bench. He stood up. He's getting ready to go in. And then the whole stadium realized he was coming on the pitch. So, and I will say, too, I think our club have done a great job of actually staging the whole event from the time there was a rumor that he was coming to the time that he was officially signed to the time he arrived. And I think that helped in the hype around the match. He's the real deal. He comes on, has had a few sessions with his teammates, and looks like he fits in. The first thing I noticed when he came on the pitch was as he's come on, he's going up front, and I can see his arms moving around here, and he's looking at the guys beside him, and he's already starting to organize, and hasn't even touched the ball yet. So this is a guy that has so much to offer, both on and off the pitch. And last night, yeah, it's disappointing that the goal that he scored got called back because you couldn't provide a better script than that. But it was offside. Having said that, he continues to show flashes on the pitch. And other than the fact that they equalized late, which was hugely disappointing, the night couldn't have gone much better. And there's a lot more to expect from Thomas and the team.
Yeah, it was a good second half for everybody. Even before he had come on, the play had started to tilt in Whitecaps' favor. I'm glad you brought up the organization and the gesticulations that he was making, because we even laughed about it a week and a half ago when he was still training with Bayern, Bobby. I mean, he knows he's never playing another game with Bayern again. He was at Bayern training doing the same, like guiding guys through positions. Like, he can't help but be that
Comes
leader.
by it, honestly. I'm not sure he can shake that.
And given Ryan is still weeks away, given you've lost Sam Adekube, of course, who's a veteran player, and Norenko for the foreseeable future, like bringing in a guy that's willing to say those sorts of things, that's not bad for this team down the stretch here.
No, and you can tell that it's natural. It's not forced. And I think because of the way that he's come in and initiated the introduction to his teammates and been warm and welcoming with them as well. I think that the reaction to the goal was great too, because it was why, and all the players crowded around him until they realized it wasn't a goal. But
Brian White dropping to his knees, buddy, it wasn't his goal. He knew it.
No, I know that. Everything that he does just reeks of class. He's just someone that understands that he's coming to a part of the world where the game isn't as accepted as it is pretty much everywhere else in the world. And I think he understands that he has to help build the sport. And there are countless examples of players that have come over and have his pedigree that have come over and just want to play. They don't want to do much else. And it's so disappointing. And the top guy of that list is Thierry Henry. He was a complete and utter waste of time off the pitch. Didn't want to sell the sport. Didn't want to play on turf. I love the fact that the press conference, when it's the first time the turf has come up. And I was waiting, like, since he officially signed, I was waiting. Okay, well, somebody's got to ask the question of the turf, because players like him just don't appear to like playing on turf. You got to ask the question. It took, well, you were there, obviously. It took 30 seconds for him just to kill that. No,
Mhm.
he played up. He grew up playing on turf, and no problem. And he's going to train on grass. So again, just another example of a guy who accepts where he's come to, accepts that it's maybe not what it is in other parts of the world, but it's getting there. And with his help, it's going to get there quicker.
Bob, from a technical standpoint, with your eyes and all your years in the game, like what did you see last night? What kind of a player is he? What should Whitecaps fans and casual soccer fans anticipate from this guy?
Actually, he came as advertised, in my opinion, because you'd hear in advance, and having watched him play over the years, he's not an athletic player in terms of the athleticism, and this is an athletic league with the big American boys, but if you're not that and you make your way through it as he has done in his career, winning 35 titles, it's a lot easier to come to a league where that might be even ramped up more than what he's used to. I'm not sure about that, but it just might be. And in his case, he will find space, and it'll be interesting in upcoming games. I just want to watch him. I don't want to watch the rest of the game, but I just want to see how his movement is, when he moves, where he moves. And he just, as has been the case in his career, he seems to find himself in the right spot at the right time. Now, that's not coachable. That's up here. You're born with that, and there are a few players that have it. Even Stuart Armstrong last year was a little bit like that, whole different level. But and so he's not going to disappoint, because he's going to score goals. He's going to set up goals. He's going to, and just the fact that he came on the pitch and he started organizing players right away, he's invested. He's here, and he wants to see this team do well.
We've talked about the fact this is maybe the best incarnation of the Whitecaps of the MLS era, at least, of all time, in terms of the skill level. Now, it's morphed with Pedro leaving and the injuries and all that sort of stuff, but it's a very good level, but it's not Bayern Munich. The risk, at least a perceived risk, I think, for people that don't know the game and don't know the player individually, because I think it varies, but is going to be, what's this guy going to be like playing with this group? This is not Bayern. This is not European Champions League. You've seen world-class players come to Vancouver before. Maybe not quite Thomas Müller, but Ruud Krol and
Alan Ball, actually.
Alan Ball,
yeah,
for sure.
Situation.
Yeah. So, do you remember sort of, any rumblings, any consternation about that? How did he fit in when he came in with expectation, obviously?
How did Thomas fit in?
No, how did Alan, like, for perspective, is there the expectation everybody's going to be at my level, or how is that adaptation for these world-class players?
Alan Ball was a seamless introduction. He had actually played. He didn't come from England. He played in Philadelphia and wasn't enjoying himself there. And there was a connection between the assistant coach at that time, Bob McNabb, and him. And I think he called Bob and said, "Hey, I want out of here." And Bob said, "Well, talk to Tony." And Tony realized he was a player that could, like we want Thomas to do, take us to another level. And he did just that from the time that he arrived. But the thing about players like that, and if you just use Alan Ball and Thomas as examples, they're demanding. They're very demanding, and not in a way that's going to piss players off. He's just going to make sure that he holds everybody accountable. And if he needs to probably at some point he's going to have to be critical, he'll do it in a way that I think won't be upsetting anybody. He just wants the team to do well, and he's been clear about that from the outset. So I don't think the different levels, they're different levels. That's a fact. You can't get around that. But the league continues to get better. The quality of player coming into the league continues to get better. And I just think that over the next couple of years that I don't know if he'll take the team on his shoulders, because I'm not sure that needs to really happen, and take a big step back and just appreciate what this team has done, given all the circumstances that you talked about earlier and the players missing. And so he's just hopefully the icing on the cake. Alan Ball did it for us in 1979. He came in and he made us better, and he was very, very demanding. And but nobody was bothered with that, because whatever he was saying, he could back it up with a performance.
Bob, you probably knew more about this Müller situation before any of us, but Blake and I have sat here discussing over the last couple of weeks, and have heard from many in the audience who feel likewise, that it's just surreal that all of this is happening, that like one of the great figures in German sports history, one of the great figures in international soccer history, is here in Vancouver in a Whitecaps kit and plying his trade. How is this surreal at all for you, who has been through and seen a lot in the world of soccer?
Surreal is a good word. And when the rumor came up, obviously there were people that were suggesting, nah, there's no chance. He's not going to want to come to Vancouver. He's not going to want to play on turf. But the fact that the rumor became reality, I think there was a lot of people that were shocked that this was happening. And I don't know if we should be, because Vancouver is a beautiful city. And we have a team that is actually one of the better teams in the league. In spite of all the issues that the team has had this season, we're right up there. So for him, I would think in the twilight of his career, that what he'd like more than anything is to continue to ply his trade, but do it in a place that, as he repeated or had said at the press conference, is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. So I think it's a match made in heaven. And ideally, what can happen over the course of this last 8 games is he continues. He's probably going to get a half a game next game, maybe even more, because I think he really wants to play, and clearly he's capable of, just by the virtue of watching what we watched last night. And the goal is get to the end of the season, finish as high as we can, and ensure that we get home field advantage, ideally throughout the playoffs. And if we have that, we've proven that we're very, very good at home. And we could have a repeat of 1979. And it was interesting to hear him at the press conference when he alluded to the history of the club, that he said, you could tell by the video of that 1979 celebration when we came back from New York, that the city is ready to welcome that type of thing. And if we do it again, then the same will happen. And I'm convinced that it will as well.
I love it, Bob. Manifest it. Speak it into existence, sir.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful night at BC Place last night. Many more to come now. We're just getting started with Thomas Müller.
How about those fans? The fans
too, were extraordinary. We were saying earlier, Bob.
Yeah, it was great. And there's no reason why that's not going to continue. The buzz was, as soon as you got close to the stadium, you could feel the energy that was there. So it was great.
Awesome. Great having you back on the show. Thanks for the time, Bob.
Thank you, guys. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.